Hi, this is Sajjad, welcoming you to this video of Nuke Learning. In this video, I am sharing my knowledge about using the IDistort node and how to use it creatively. As Foundry says, IDistort node warps the input image based on the values in the image's UV channels. The U and V values are offsets for where a pixel will come from. Basically, we use this node to create an effect like water simulation and heat distortion. One of the tools for creating non-unique shape effect is the STMap. I have explained STMap in other videos in detail. IDistort node deforms the image based on the values of another map called the UV map. So this is the whole idea. We need to create UV map for this node to work. But before getting deep into it, let's see this node's options. Channels. The distortion is only applied to these channels. UV channels. The two channels that are used to calculate the distortion for the input image. UV offset. This is subtracted from the UV channels to set a non-zero center point for renderers that cannot output negative numbers. UV scale. Multiply the UV channels by this value. Blur channel. Enable the associated blur channel to the right. Blur scale. Adjusts the amount of blur. Mask channel. Enable the associated mask channel to the right. Filter. Select the filtering algorithm to use when remapping pixels from their original positions to new positions. Here in this example, if I connect the node to this footage, by default does not do anything, because it's waiting for the introduction of UV channels. If I choose RGB for UV channels, you can see it is reading red and green channels. I am referencing the main plate as map for the node. If I have another map, I should use red for U and green for V channels to make the node work. By increasing the UV scale, distorts the footage. If you pay attention, the distortion is happening to the left down of the viewer. The UV offset compensates for that. This doesn't seem to work fine for me. Let me load a noise node. This is the default. I should use copy node, hit K for copy. Put it above the IDistort node, connect the A input to noise. In the properties of copy node, as I said earlier, we need to map data. Set first copy channel to RGBA.red and the second copy channel to RGBA.green. And in front, set the first two to one of the existing channels, or layers, or you can create one for yourself. The forward layer is empty. I can use it, so set the first one to forward U and the second one to forward V. In IDistort properties, I should change the RGB to forward. And you can see the effect. This is the basic idea and construction of IDistort node. You can use your imagination on this noise node side and distort the footage based on it. For example, I can add quick expression to noise Z option. Right-click and choose Add Expression. Frame divided by 10. I can animate this option manually too. Look through the noise to see how it is animating. Now look through the IDistort node and you can see the footage is distorting based on the noise Z option. Any change in the options like XY size can alter the distortion. If I set it to 100, I can feel the effect of heat wave. Let me switch to multiple values and set the X to 50 and Y to 200 to stretch the shapes of noise, and this can be more similar to heat distortion. Experiment with different settings can give you interesting results. In IDistort, setting the blur channel to RGBA.green and increasing the blur scale will help selling the shot. I can hit O for roto and draw a mask and connect to the mask input of the IDistort node and limit the distortion inside of the mask. Add blur to the roto to soften the edges. The IDistort node is one of the transform nodes that add filtering to the final footage. Setting it back to impulse can remove the filtering, or you can use other options of filter menu to have other filtering algorithms.